see if you were guys paying attention to us. Why don't we get back into our groups and get back into the negotiation table? Okay, so remember, if anybody has lost their handout, let us know. We have more here as well. So the whole point, if you can get into the groups of the 1, 2, and 3, I know there was a group that had just the 2, which we had asked for you to do initially, which is great, yeah. But why don't we just do why don't you guys join the number 3 group then? And we get back into those groups and start negotiating. We put up here the decision guide. Can you guys see it? Yeah? Because this is useful when you're negotiating. I hope you take it into consideration then. And we'll have a few minutes, we have about 10 minutes to start this negotiation process again. And then we'll go and see what you guys negotiated on. We'll ask you to fill out a little survey online to see if you're actually, what you actually agreed on, okay? Does that make sense? Let's start.
Okay, can everybody take a seat again now, please? You'll need your phones or laptops. Hopefully you've got phones and laptops.
Sorry. There wasn't any.
That's all right. We're doing an online survey now. Whoop, whoop. So, what do we instruct? Okay. Do you want to do the instructions?
Hi everyone, time's up. Let's see if you reached an agreement.
Do they need to go to this website then to vote?
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is just see whether or not who got an agreement or not. So those of you who have a phone, we can put it and we can see what you thought. Or you could do it. We can do it as a team, or we can do it as all of you. Maybe it's useful to have everybody who has a mobile device and see whether you thought it was fair or not to. That we will get a wider range of answers. So I'll ask you to go in your smartphone or in your tablet or in your computer to Kahoot, like it's written there, .it. And we're going to play this game. And it's going to ask you for a pin. And what you have to do is just put that pin inside. And we're going to see here everybody logging on who's playing. So you can put your name. You don't have to put your real name. Or you can put Team 1 or Case 1, Case 2, Case 3, depending on which one you were. We have the first one. Yes. Yeah, that's good. That was a good name. Felipe Group 2 and so on. That's good. Yeah, well, we have more paper. We have more paper. Yeah. 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 Well, that might be useful for the next case, yeah. I mean, I guess we can just keep playing that, because I was going to do it by university and stuff, but we can just keep doing the case studies. Do you think? Or no. No. Yeah. Is anybody missing? Who else wants to vote? There's no right or wrong answers necessarily. Okay, well, let's see. Anybody missing? Raise hands. Otherwise, let's start. Okay, one. Okay. We are. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think it's good to just put yourself as well there, so that way we can get your opinion on whether it was fair or not, yeah? Okay, shall we start? Let's start. Okay, so this is the questions about the Lambert Agreement. So the first question is, did you find the Lambert Decision Guide useful when negotiating? So you do red, yes, blue, no, or yellow, somewhat. So all you have to do is click on that icon. Yeah, because you can see live what they're answering. Yeah, it's really nice. Innovation in the classroom. I think we're missing one person, or when everybody's answered. Okay, we can also just do a skip. Okay, so I mean, we put everybody answer, but it's interesting to see that most people said that it was useful, and some people said it was somewhat useful, which a bit reflects what we were seeing with James' survey. And obviously, as people become more familiar, the more useful the agreements are and the toolkit is, and as we become more familiar with it, and people start using it in the ecosystem, then we're like, oh yeah, okay. But it's good to see that nobody found it not useful, so that's good. Let's go with the next question. Did you discuss any of the following topics during the negotiation then? You can select as many as you want here. So red is revenue sharing mechanisms, blue patent maintenance costs, and yellow publication rights, and green liabilities and warranties. Sorry? You can select more than one. Just click on it here. No? Oh. Oh, apologies. My bad. Okay, just choose one. The one that you think... Sorry, that was my bad. Maybe choose the ones that you didn't select then. That you didn't use. Yeah. Okay. I thought I had put everything. I must have missed selecting more than one answer. Yeah. Yeah. So what you're telling me? So did just raise hands then? Did everybody? So over here I heard that you didn't do everything. Yeah. What was the one that you think was the one that should have been? That's not there. That you didn't discuss. Mm-hmm. Yeah. In the table. So maintenance costs probably. Okay. It's not an issue. Okay. But from I understand that from like the university side, so that's really good for the university. But what about the industry side? Because they might have that problem. Then as you say, well, you're always allowed by law. Where does that leave the industry? Does it leave it vulnerable, perhaps? From the other side of the table, so you might still, even though it's allowed by law, you as an industry representative might still want to put it there because it's like, well, please, you need to. Yeah. Okay. And let's do the next question. Do you feel the other party was fair or reasonable? So this one will be interesting to see, what people thought, because maybe you were negotiating as well and you reached an agreement, but not everybody in the table feels the same way. Yeah. So I'm interested in seeing what happened here. Do you think it was fair? Was it not fair? Somewhat. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry? Yeah. Okay, so most of you said yes, but 2 of you said that no, so it wasn't fair, and 5 of you said somewhat fair. Yeah. So again, when we're talking about building collaborations, there has to be this feeling of trust and feeling of valued. If you might get the first agreement in place, but if you feel that you were mistreated or it was not fair, it's very hard to form really strong collaborations that last long. So it's important to maybe see what happened there. Was were you thinking in the situation of the Lamberts? Did you think that the Lambert agreement was not fair? Does anybody want to share their story that voted no? Could you elaborate a bit? Why not? Which is interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Então, né, como eu não sou da área, todo mundo já expliquei que direito administrativo é minha área, eu acho que eu estou entrando nisso aí como o advogado padrão entraria, talvez. Vamos dizer que se viesse alguém para o meu escritório aí e a gente fosse sentar para uma negociação como advogado padrão. E o que acontece, né? Foi um pouco agressivo ali a estratégia da equipe do outro lado. E o que eu vi foi uma mentalidade mais ou menos assim: não tenho o que negociar. Não existe o que negociar. E se não tiver o que negociar e não tiver nem a vontade de sentar e explicar e conversar sobre publicação, e quando vai publicar, quando não vai publicar, como vai publicar, se pode ter intervenção ou não pode ter intervenção, se eu fosse a empresa dizer não, vou esperar isso cair no domínio público, alguém vai abrir a boca, vai publicar. Se vocês não vão fazer a patente, não vão proteger como segredo de negócio, só tem que esperar a academia tomar o rumo normal dela, e aí ou é ou não é economicamente relevante para o meu cliente nesse ponto. Então eu acabaria recomendando não negociar, se fosse o resultado final, né, e não a primeira sessão ali de conversa. Mas aí é impressão de quem está de fora, né? Vocês têm a de vocês.
And that's a very interesting point. And again, it goes back to our culture and changing that mindset of I have to win versus we both win. And it may be that you're not allowed by the regulations of the university or by a restriction, but it's always good to start the negotiations trying to put yourself in the shoes of the other. Well, tell me, why is that important? And look, I want to do this. Let me see. I have a lot of restrictions. I can't do this because of these reasons, but let me see what I can do. Let me understand you. What else is important to you? And always try to negotiate. Or I really wish I could do that, but what about we negotiate on this other term? So whenever you also on the table negotiating, you do one, I do another. Whatever is the most important, and we go back and understanding what are those priorities for you, and making the other person understand also your point of view, but with the mindset of why is this important to you? Why is it that you want to have this publication rights? Tell me, well, I have limitations. I have to graduate my students. What about we reach a compromise, something that, again, you can review it first, and then I get it. So yeah, very, very fair point, yeah. And the next one. And this one should be easy to answer. Were you or not able to reach an agreement? And this also includes on the Lambert agreement as well. Did you find out which Lambert agreement were you able to agree on? to 15?
16, I think. Yeah. Unless someone's left.
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, no, I've got 16 now.
Okay, so most of you were able to say yes, you reached an agreement, but 4 of you didn't. So I'm assuming they come from the same group. Which one couldn't reach the agreement? Which case study was that? The number 3. Okay.
You had the most complicated.
It was the most complicated, and another point there is that, like, if we go back to what we were discussing in the morning, is the more actors you have, the more complex it gets, because everybody has different interests. So it complicates things as well. And partial agreement, that's true. So I invite you as well to keep reviewing those in more detail. I know we just talked to them about the agreements today briefly. Look at them more clearly. If you have questions, send us an email as well. We're happy to answer anything we can. And finally, the last question is: were you able to agree on who owned the IP? Was it the university, the business, shared, or another party? So, okay, we didn't see the results, but it was a wide, maybe try? Oh, no. We'll put skip and see what happens. See. Oh, was it again? What happened there? I'm confused. I don't know. I guess put skip, I guess, because we have.
Let's still people answering.
Okay. I think probably some people voted earlier. Yeah. Okay, so obviously we have different scenarios here. None of you put the other party, but many put shared. And again, I don't know. Remember the point I said earlier. Just be very cautious with shared intellectual property. Yeah. I would say that if you can avoid it at all costs, because it's just so complex once it comes to exploiting that, and it's revenue sharing. Yes, share revenue shares, but intellectual property ownership, if you can avoid that, I would recommend that. Yeah? You just avoid so much headache, so many costs and legal fees as well, because again, everything has to be signed by everybody, and it's just one more time. And we have cases where it was small licenses, and from shared IP, and it was almost more that you spent in the lawyer fees than what you got back. In some cases where the projects were just middle income type technology. So avoid it if you can. By all means, share revenues, but not necessarily the actual patents. Huh? Okay, well, with that, we're going to start our last part, which some of you already saw. We have that section on the back. So sorry, it's my fault because I didn't explain that was for a different exercise. Nevertheless, it's going to be interesting as well. So James is going to put up the final presentation. So this final one is again about trying to understand that point of view of the other party. We had originally planned to split you into 3 groups. So one representing a university setting, another one representing business, and another one representing government. We can do that, or we can go again with the case studies, but no, maybe keep the original plan. So we're going to have groups. So we probably don't have an equal number of representation here. Does anybody here come from government? No. Yeah, 1, okay. Más o menos, okay. 3. So you 2 are gonna be you're gonna be number 1s. I'm just trying to divide us by who. Can you get up here in the front just to start dividing groups and see who we have representing those groups? Yeah. Sure. So let me just tell you a little bit of what we're going to do. Again, we're going to be doing this human approach to innovation. And the whole idea is that we can innovate in business, in technology, in people. But when we focus on people is when we're starting to think about design thinking and really instead of doing things like emotional innovation or process innovation or functional innovation, we're really focusing on what brings value to relationship and a lot on people. So next slide. And the process that we're going to go through in this exercise is trying to understand the other party, trying to empathize, really defining a clear problem. Then we're going to explore solutions, and it's all based this methodology. It's all based about failing fast, because what happens many times we try to think about anything, and in this case, the process of collaboration, and we think about our own ideas, but we don't really think what works for the other party. So we're going to really try to put ourselves in the other shoes, and if some idea doesn't work, we kill it quickly, and we try another one, and we try another one quickly, so eventually we come up with this new ideas that work better, and we don't spend as much money or as much of our time trying to decide whether it's a good idea, and we test it multiple times, and it's an iterative process. And next one. Okay, so this is where we're going to divide. So we have we have 3 representatives of government. 4, good, that's good. Who do we have here that's business? Okay, business, can we start putting ourselves over there? I know. Yeah, well, we'll mix them, but I want them to be the ones that are interviewed here. Yeah. Okay, and who do we have that is related to academia? The rest? Yeah, everyone else in the room, right? Okay. Lawyers. Where do lawyers want to go? Should we put them with corporate? Yeah. Okay. So the rest of you we can divide whatever group you feel more comfortable going to. Yeah. Sorry, but the rest. So let's put the university group here, but obviously you're too big, so we have to put some university. We're supposed to be around 30. How many are we? So first 10 to come will be the academic group. The rest will have to divide, yeah? Who wants to come around here in the front? University. Yeah. So we have 1, 2. Yeah. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. Okay, we have the 10 people here in the front. Good. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. So we're going to try to understand each other. So we have 10 here. The rest that are seated in the back, can you join or you guys want to be government? I guess we have government. So can you guys join the business side on the back, whoever's not come up? Can you guys join the businesses? We're going to be interviewing each other. So half of your group is going to go interview another group. So I want you to interview the people who are in that sector. So whoever's interviewing, in this case, we're going to have industry interviewing government. So you guys are going to interview government. You guys state as the people who are going to be interviewed, because we want to get your view. Yeah? We want them to get what is actually affecting you. Does that make sense? Yeah, and then, because I know this is a bit complicated, particularly when it's another language. So let me make sure we're understanding each other. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5 of you are going to stay there. 5 of you are going to come and interview 5 of you. In this case, 4 of you. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 5. So 5 of you. So 5 of you industry, the ones that are not really the industry, doesn't matter. You can come and interview them, okay? Okay, and then we have academia. You're going to go and interview industry. Since you're all academics, it doesn't matter. Whoever 5 of you can go and interview the people that are remaining there, okay? Does that make sense?
Which kind of questions we have to do?
Okay, so what we want to understand, let me divide you first and then I'll explain, okay? So just go there and do, and then, wait, and then the last one, you know, we're going to have 5 people from the government, so you on the back, yeah, are going to go and interview the academics that remain here. Does that make sense? Yeah? Yeah? No, you're going to be interviewed here. Yeah. Okay, is that clear? No.
Ó, gente, tem que ir 5 para lá entrevistar
Yeah.
e ficar 5 aqui.
Yeah. Okay, so what I want you to do.
E vocês vão entrevistar lá e 5 ficam aqui.
Yes. So you guys, so let's take the example of industry interviewing government, right? So I want you to understand, in the process of collaboration, it can be anything, you know, like I want to understand, for instance, how do you promote collaboration within industry and academia? Tell me, do you put any grants out? What is the process like? What does it look like to put this together? I want you to understand through questions how government deals with collaborations. On your hand, you know, we have the academics interviewing industry. So how do you guys, again, go and collaborate? What is it that you need from academia? What is it that, how do you go about it, you know, in your role? Do you have your boss sends you? Do you have a department that does it? All these things. So I want you to get all this information from them about how you promote collaboration. And then in the group here where we have government interviewing academia as well, we have, well, again, how do you do it? Is it easy in your process? If you're a researcher, how easy is it to you to do collaboration? Are you rewarded in some way? Does your TTO help? If it's a TTO you're interviewing, it's like, how easy is it to get this collaboration process going, and so on. Does that make sense now? Is that clear? Okay, I'm going to put the timer. So this here is your timer. We have 5 minutes. Yeah.
So they're now going to be using that. What prompted them to write on the bits of paper already?
Let me go there. This is production.
They drawn on the little man and everything.
Para fazer o projeto da empresa. E o que a gente faz? A gente coloca dinheiro a fundo perdido até
forma recursos humanos,
a fase de inovação da empresa
produtos que certamente vão ser extremamente importantes para poder
esse papel
impactar na saúde do
geralmente na academia, né?
do SUS.
CTs, né, que são tecnologia, institutos de pesquisa privado ou público, que tem uma determinada competência reconhecida pelo IBRAPI, tanto na questão da pesquisa mesmo, científica, como na questão da gestão. Então, aí você tem projetos que são feitos pelos Estados Unidos da academia ou não, para a empresa, e aí a gente coloca o dinheiro. É isso.
Problemas dos destinos, casamento, doutoração, por exemplo, foi tocado no assunto.
Esse é um problema nosso que a gente precisa de gastar o dinheiro, que é um dinheiro que vai ajudar a empresa a entendeu? Do ponto de vista de problema, não, porque a gente não a gente só tem a unidade para participar de um projeto com
A questão da comunicação. Se eu quiser fazer descontar imposto de renda, né? Igual a gente pode fazer doação de habitat, quero fazer doação para órgãos do governo voltados à ciência e tecnologia. É um caixa único.
Então, eles ficam assim, a API é toda minha. Só que a API pode ser toda da empresa, desde que a empresa remunere a universidade economicamente mensurável ou financeiramente, entendeu? Então, esse é o problema, mas a gente, em API, o nosso problema é só saber, as empresas saberem que existe esse dinheiro, existem as unidades e vão te
Okay, time's up. Let's go back. That's okay. That's all good. Let's go back to our groups, original groups. That's okay. Let's go back. Yeah, time's up. Time's up. Go back, academics, go back to academia. Industry, go back to industry. Government, go back to government. It's okay. You can talk in a little bit more. This is just the first round of information. Okay, let's go back to our groups. Everyone has the sheets on the back. Apologies, that group. I have more paper if you guys need it. So everybody, we're gonna build a journey map of the person you interviewed. So again, industry, you interviewed government, right? So you can choose any of the ones on the back. And I want you to think, based on that information you gathered, we're going to build a persona. So you have the little dolls there. Yeah. So think about it like, imagine if I were to say, I'm I'm doing a researcher, so I'm going to put that persona of that researcher. So this is a great doctor who's come up with a fantastic innovation in nanotechnology and wants to license that technology. And you're going to start thinking about the different steps that they have in that journey to collaboration. So again, if I think about my researcher, I'm going to list it, and we have post-it notes. And so what I want you to put in that in the horizontal line there is the different steps to collaboration. And again, we can give this group, whoever ends up in that group, new sheets and stuff. We have plenty left. So, in this case, I would say something like, okay, well, the first step is I have to come up, in my lab with a bright new idea. I have to approach the TTO about patenting my technology. I have to fill out all the IP forms that I need to say, who worked with me, was it my researchers, my students, did I do any collaborations and so on. Then we have to apply for the patent. Then we have to publish the research, or it could be choose different steps depending on how you're doing it. Help the TTO identify potential industry leads. So I'm taking the point of view of that researcher. What is that researcher doing? Again, you can choose any of the number of people you interviewed, choose one, and build me a persona. I want you to tell me a story, a personal story about the journey of that person to get this type of collaborations. And she has to sign the CDA, talk to potential licensees about that technology, apply for translational funding if needed, and then start the licensing term negotiations, agree on what sort of support she's going to give, and finally, she gets that final version of that license agreement signed. Example, it can be any number of ones that you choose. I don't care what you choose. You can do that, so we're gonna have 10 minutes for this. So choose a side. So let's say industry, you go on that one. Government, you have this one on the back. Academics, you have this one in the middle, and I can give you more stuff. Industry, let me do that before I start the timer, okay? So what happened with the people that were in your group that interviewed the other people? Government people who interviewed the other. Okay, yeah. So they're part of your group, okay? Yeah. Of the industry. The one, because you were the ones gathering the information. And you can get feedback from your team to say, are we missing anything, do you think, as well? Yeah? Yeah, so
We understood that this paper was for the previous activity. Someone told us.
Yeah, no problem, yeah. Let me go get
This hasn't started yet. Shall I start? Oh, okay, right.
canetas. Alguém tem canetas? E post-its. Tem post-its?
Tinha vários. Tem nem post-it. Bota lá.
Was it?
Just click the circle in the middle. Yeah, I think it's just starting slow because it's a longer time.
Okay, yeah.
Take some pictures of them too.
Yeah.
Maybe we should like take some of us. Okay, it's good to see everybody having good discussions. And I know this doesn't have much time, but that's purposely so. Okay, so what I want you to do now is go, as the group stay here, but the people who are going to interview the other group go again to the other group. And what we want to find out here, you can also show them the map if you want, you know. So academia is here. So the people that were interviewed by academia, who was interviewed before? So somebody interviewed you. So government interviewed academia before, right? So the people who were interviewed, go over here. So if you were interviewed before, come over to this side. Who was interviewed? So we have industry there, right? Industry, you interviewed government, right? The rest of the government, go over there. The people who were interviewed before, yes? And the same thing for academia, right? Academia, you were interviewing industry. So the people who were interviewed before go to industry, yeah, and yes, exactly. So yeah, yeah.
Have to break because they have to get out. And,
Oh.
it's the last coffee break.
Oh, the last coffee break. Okay. Well, let me just explain to it, and you can we can go. We need to have a coffee break now, otherwise we don't have a coffee break. So let me explain to you, and you can use this time with the coffee. You can come back to this same position, okay? Or after the coffee. So, and use this time as a coffee break to get more information if you want. So that what I want you to do is show this map and kind of say, this is what I thought this process was. And understand with more questions as well as like, you know, well, what was this problem? You know, what is the area where there's more problems for you? What is really good? You know, what is it that you really like? Oh, and why? You know, tell me, why do you do this? You know, so we were discussing here, the government group interviewed academia, so we were trying to put up the steps of, you know, how a researcher would meet somebody from industry in an event organized by the, you know, networking night here, and then they had to go do all this legal stuff in their universities and so on. So what we're trying to say is like identify in that step process that we're putting together, what are the problem areas, what are the good areas. So it's like, is it easy to do the legal work? Is it easy to find the right collaborator in those industry nights, or like maybe nobody shows up? Actually, it's like, actually I've gone to several events and actually, you know, nobody that I was interested was, or I talked to people and they were just like, didn't want to hear me out. You know, it was just a waste of my time, so I've never won again. I want to understand that type of things. The more personal the stories, the better. You know, I want you to understand where those things are, okay? So let's break for coffee, keep those ideas in mind, and we're gonna come back to do that as we get back, okay? Yes? Okay, are we back? Let's get back. Remember the configuration we said before you guys left? Ask 2 questions, unless you've already asked them. Have you, they show them the map and then say which ones, why, and all the emotions, when they felt happy, when they felt sad, things that were good or bad in that journey map. Yes? Okay. Well, go back in your maps, right? Yeah? Just like we were divided before the coffee break, exactly like we said. Remember that? I mean, the other thing we could do, because many people are leaving, is give them the surveys now. Time, I guess. Yeah, I hope. Or they get tired of the exercise, maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
Many people have left anyway, but maybe we should try and speed it up. Yeah. It's 4:05 now, so what did the agenda was to finish 5:30, wasn't it?
Yeah. What time is it? 4:30. Okay, yeah, we're good. Okay, everyone. So we're remember what you're doing. So we're asking the other party about how they feel. So you have those little stickers in the wall, red and green stickers, right? Yeah. So I want you, as you're interviewing the other person, to get those stickers, and as a group, you can put a red sticker in the steps where you think, the other person had issues or they felt bad, the low points of that journey map. And the green stickers are for those where we're good, that were good points of that collaboration map. Thinks about whether they had support from their institution, from or was a difficult point in the collaboration, and so on. Does that make sense? So we're thinking about the example I gave you about the collaborators. Well, they come up with a bright idea. That's great. The researcher feels great, so that would be a green sticker. So I put a little green sticker by my Post-it note. Whereas, filling out those IP forms, I hate filling out forms. I don't like that. I'm putting a red sticker. Same thing with, the license negotiation. I hate negotiating a license. It's really bad. And then the green sticker would be, I finally got the negotiation impressed. We're ready to go. Okay? Go. Well, let me put those here as a timer putting it. Why isn't it go in there? It's not going in there. Right when I clicked on that.
You want the 10 minutes?
The 5-1, but. Here, if I click that.
Click it now. I think that's working.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's the same thing that happened earlier.
Misleading, yeah.
Okay, you're putting all your stickers here. Yeah.
Explain again, because we understood that the industry was going to look at what we made.
Yeah, and kind of asked them, is this, one? Did I get it right?
Yes, but he's already there in explaining there what they did. So it's okay. We wait.
No, bring them back with you. Yeah. Okay. And remember, get them to look at that. We're missing the order. They will miss any steps.
Okay.
And then put a little sticker at those points that are the bad points. Yeah. Okay. And the green ones and the ones that are good points. Okay. Okay, we're done. So hopefully you came up with something again like this, where we identify with the red stickers the points that were problematic. Okay, so get back to your own groups, government with government, and academia with academia. It's okay if you don't have all the time, all the answers, that's fine. Don't worry. It's going to be, again, an iterative process. So let's get back to our original groups. Grupo original. Okay? Grupo original. Yeah. Grupo original. Yeah. Yeah, sí. Vamos de regreso al otro grupo. No, pero quédense ahí, pero en la pared, in the wall. But with the original group, right? Yeah. Okay, so in your groups, you should see in front of you your partner's journey map, right? And you all put stickers there, the red and the green. So what we want you to do is examine the one that has the greatest number of red stickers, yeah? And you think about, how this other person deals with those problems, So think about how, of all those problems, I want you to select the one that is the most problematic, that you think really if we solve this one, this is the one that's causing the most problems in this journey. Okay? 5 minutes, go.
Need the countdown music.
Yeah, I think it does one bell.
All right.
But I don't know where that.
Turn the sound off.
Yeah. Maybe we can put the sound on. Okay, time's up. So this next step. So stay there. So now that you identified those, and you prioritize, I want you to define the problem. So this should be quicker, only 3 minutes, for you to tell me, and write it down in your sheets of paper. What is the problem you're trying to solve? And just keep it short and simple. And yes, for inspiration, it's here a quote from Albert Einstein, who said that if I had an hour to solve a problem, I'd spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about solutions. So we spend all the first part understanding the problem. So now just, once we define it, it should be relatively easy to start thinking about solutions. So define it. Go. Sorry.
Sorry.
Did you click it already?
No. Sorry.
So tell me what the problem is that you're trying to solve. Just put it in writing. This is going along.
If she's having to deliver and she's not feeling be a bit of a nightmare.
Have you delivered with her? Because it wasn't on the other side of the table.
I've heard her speak team meetings and she actually came across pretty well. She's just made a few points, but standing up in front of people for long periods of time, getting used to it. So, I guess at least speaking Spanish.
Yeah, because I tell her, you don't want to just do it in Spanish, they'll be happy about that.
I must admit, in some ways, I like first English language speakers because if you stop making sense, they blame themselves.
Yeah.
When they're his English was just using too complex phraseology and language, and they just feel guilty. Whereas like English people are like,
Wait a second. Hang on. What do you say? Yeah. Okay, time. Hopefully you came up with a nice problem statement. Yeah. Okay, next step. Next step is quite fun, okay? So in this step, does everybody have a marker? Yes? Do you have enough post-it notes? Yeah? If not, I can give you some more. But in here is about ideation, which is a very important step in the process. It's coming up with ideas, yeah? So this is another quote to inspire you, and it's from Linus Pauling, which is a very famous chemist and biochemist. He was a pioneer in quantum mechanics, and one of the founders, not only that, of molecular biology, and received Nobel Prize in chemistry and in peace. So it's a really great guy, yeah? And his quote is, if you want to have good ideas, you must have many ideas, right? So we're going to go here for ideation in terms of volume. So in your groups, you're going to brainstorm about solutions to that problem you just defined. for volume. So what I don't want you to say, oh, that's not nonsense. Don't think about, oh, is it nonsense? Does it not work? I want you to go crazy, defer judgment, go for volume, one conversation at a time. I want it to be visual if you can. So as many. So you have your little setting here. If not, put them on the wall, whatever it takes, As many ideas, as crazy as they can be. I don't care. Many crazy ideas, okay? Can be, saying, oh, I'm going to do an Airbnb model for research lab space or something. Whatever, I don't care. Just do it. So ready, set, go. Everybody at the same time. Everybody just write ideas. Everyone, go, write. Everyone with a note.
It's quite a good idea.
Yeah. I put it there. I don't see everybody writing. Everybody write ideas, crazy ideas. I don't care. Less talk, more writing ideas. Write ideas. Come on. Your clock is ticking. Ideas, something. Everybody writing with a pen. Come on. There's too many ideas. Yes. Okay, let me see how to help out. They managed to put it back up, so that's good. The little pins on the walls, and one of the pins fell.
Yes, you have the pins, Jane. I know that. Maybe. Let me check. I don't know what age that. Okay, I will. But we will have time at the airport.
Yeah, I know, that'd be good. Okay, time's up. Okay, so this is what comes up next, okay? Okay, so now that you were there, hopefully you came up with lots of good ideas. So what I want you to do is identify the themes from your group and kind of choose 5 ideas. Try to put them, if you put them in words, try to put them in pictures if you can. So for instance, I came up with an idea to do, beer nights out where like the academic shows a presentation. So we're going to go have beer with the industry. Or, I'm going to really reform the IP policy at my institution, which has this particular things. Or, I'm going to do prizes to encourage entrepreneurship in students. Or I'm going to do an Airbnb of research facilities, and I'm going to do a new system to put research out for them. Or I'm going to do a mentorship scheme, so something graphical if you can. These are the ideas, your prototypes that you're going to show your partners, okay? Ready, set, go. Has 3 people. But I guess I understand. Hopefully they're leaving because they have to leave them because they're bored with it.
Yeah. Maybe someone in that group that's difficult to work with.
That could be too. But they're very organized. Because you see the lawyer is super organized and follows the rules. And he did exactly what we asked him to. Whereas over here they just do whatever they want. He's really, really following the criteria very well. Whereas the rest just doing whatever.
He was the same earlier with
with them. Like, we're going to groups of 2, yes. I'm getting from the group of 2, yes, of course. I guess he would be a good lawyer to have. Seems like very dedicated to following the norm.
My brother-in-law was embarrassed playing a board game or any kind of game.
It's like
so unpleasant.
Yes, it's a
because
rule.
it's just like it's just like so hung up on like you'll read the rules first. It's like let's just start playing. Sometimes you play a game you've been playing for years and you realise you've been playing it wrong all the time.
Yes. Two more steps to that. Kind of then we'll give them the surveys. And it can be a bit long, but I think it's good. But I don't know. We'll see what feedback comes.
Well, I think we couldn't have. I think we could have done more specifically on the Lambert agreement without coming down to reading agreements.
Yeah.
That's just too dry. Plus, like the Portuguese version is going to be different.
And then the English versus like they were saying, well, this is case law versus Brazilian law. Okay, time's up. So hopefully you come up with very nice prototypes. Now it's time to test your prototypes with your partner. So split again with the way you were split before. Yeah? So basically show your prototypes and get feedback from your partner, the one you were working on with. So you want to hear whether your ideas are something that works for them, okay? So again, don't put yourself in the mindset that it's not validation. This is just a very quick prototype, and like I said, you fail quickly. It's good. You're not gonna say defend your ideas. This is not a time to defend your ideas. This is a time to hear, get feedback, listen to what your partner is saying, because this is gonna help you improve your prototypes. So go back and do not defend your ideas. Just hear what they think about them. Okay? Ready, set, go. Yeah. Yeah, that would be bad. Yeah. Did they get the article? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ceremonia de inauguración de la nueva área de atención, la cual encabezará el secretario de presidente de la Junta de Gobierno del INPE. Este evento marca el inicio de las actividades de nuestro
Yeah, it is really nice. Yeah. No, not from another place, but there's a lot of things to do there. Yeah, it's a big city, and there's you like pyramids. There's also pyramids nearby and things like that. Yeah, there's some inside the city center, and then some bigger ones away from the city. Yeah. So you're like there in the central plaza, and you can see a little pyramid. Yeah. They built it on top of the city center. Yeah. Yeah, so it was there, and the Spaniards just came and was built on top. Yeah. So it's. It's like something silly, like 25 million.
It's the biggest city in Latin America.
Yeah, it's around 25 million or something silly. Yeah. It's quite spread out, because many cities are quite up. Like you go to Medellin or Bogotá, and they're all like.
Because they're all hemmed in by mountains normally,
Yeah.
aren't they?
City of Mexico and outskirts.
Yeah.
Wow, it's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 3 times London size or something.
Yeah. It's. I would say at least probably twice, maybe. No, because I don't know. London is about 15, no?
Or 11
Maybe,
No, maybe
yeah,
not.
so 12, yeah, Greater
Yeah.
London, I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so probably is at least twice, yes.
What is Greater London? It's London Heathrow.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the kind of the area that's inside the M25.
Yeah, but okay, so it's not London and outskirts. It's not like London and cities nearby.
No.
It's
I mean, I'm
just
not
city
sure I know exactly what the definition is, but it's, it probably takes in bits of surrounding counties like Middlesex, Surrey, and
Oh yeah, sorry.
then you got in London, which is the boroughs of London, like Chelsea, Westminster, Kensington.
How would you translate boroughs, like neighborhood? Quartier.
Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to remember the origin of the word, but district council. So, maybe, but but they don't use the word boroughs in like say Aberystwyth. It is
Because they cannot even pronounce it.
there's Aberystwyth Council, Town Council, but there's no boroughs because it's like.
Okay, time's up. Okay, so now you can. This is the last time you interviewed your partner. So go back to your regional groups. Okay. So what we're gonna do in this last 5 minutes is that you are going to refine that prototype based on that feedback you got. Okay. So go back. You don't need to be back. You can go back to your original group. That's it. You're not gonna interview that person again. So we have 5 more minutes to refine that. You can make a whole new one if you want. Yeah, you don't have to. Why is that missing there? Maybe it's missing. Yeah. So you can refine and make a new one if you want. If nobody they didn't like your ideas, maybe you got more information now how to make a new prototype. Okay. Ready, set, go.
There's no clock there, but does that matter?
Let's go back. Maybe I'll copy it. It's weird.
Yeah. Okay, let's just do another one back. Do that one, shall I?
Yeah. And then we can take some pictures of what they've done
Yeah.
too, and we should write down whatever ideas they come up with.
Yeah.
And that would be useful. I'll get a pen and copy so I can find the file.
Yeah, definitely.
We should try to make this package of paper fit into our luggage so we don't have to carry this in our hands. Maybe we spread.
Are we going to check our luggage? Yeah. If we don't check our luggage, so we might be able to get rid of, clear the airport quicker.
Is your luggage cabin size? I have bigger luggage than you do, and you came from the UK, and I came from my house
Yeah.
for only 4 days.
Yeah.
It's not, now we are going to check our
You have
luggage.
got better outfits than me, though.
Don't just think about now.
I brought. This is my first time just bringing a carry-on for such a long trip. Yeah, but it's packed. That's
Yeah.
why it took me so long this morning to pack that bag.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like you weigh it is super
You've got your
heavy.
vase as well, haven't you?
Yeah. What did you bring? Where's the vase? We brought it, right?
Yeah, I see it over there in a carry bag.
Oh, is it
It's in
the
a carry bag,
Yeah, it's down with my stuff.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, definitely seriously because we bought some like things, paper stuff, so we should try to put them in one so we don't have to carry this. Because I also have my laptop in my hands and you have yours. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Tim's message.
So did everything work out fine with your colleague in Mexico?
Yeah, Yes, I was checking right now. It's saying that they did not keep going. It's more
All right.
What did you say?
that they did fine given the circumstances. You know, it's like that. She seemed the girl seemed okay. Yeah.
Oh, she's.
He says that he saw some clips of us. You guys put some clips like on somewhere on?
It's online. Yeah, it's live, but I'm not sure if they can view the web page. They show.
So it looks like there's no footage of me doing anything.
But that's funny.
I have to make sure that the segment that I deliver tomorrow gets like, put on the internet.
Yeah. That's funny.
Where's the clip of us delivering?
Right, that's what I was at. Time. Okay, so now we have the last and most interesting bit. So I know these are not final prototypes, and you guys are being pressed to come up with ideas in a short amount of time. But I hope this exercise was useful to see how many good ideas you can come up in just half an hour. Isn't that amazing how many ideas you came up with? I hope so. Now, each team has to select somebody that's going to tell us the story. I want you to tell us the whole thing. So each one of you will present your ideas. You can tell us about the persona you're trying to solve the problem. What is the problem you're trying to solve? Tell us a little bit about the story, about the person, what's their problem, what's the problem you're trying to solve. And then you tell us about your solution that you selected. Is anybody ready? They only need like a couple minutes to choose one, and then we can either go and see the map, or you can come and show us in the front, whatever you prefer, whatever is easiest.
No.
Okay, everyone, come on over here. Everyone, let's stop. Time to stop. So, okay, we're going to hear the first group, industry, who interviewed government. Okay? So they're going to tell us the story, the journey map that they're trying to solve, what the problem they identified and the solutions they came up with. Who wants to tell us the story then? Who's the volunteer?
People from government, please look at yourselves. So we try to reproduce here the government and their needs and how to foster, in this case, innovation. And we came up with an idea of how the government could foster innovation in companies, new companies coming out from university. So we chose a model of an investment fund, like a VC fund, venture capital fund. And then we presented these dynamics of formation of the fund to people from government. And from the steps that we envisioned here, they selected 4 as the most difficult ones, and we captured which were how to find resources and how to tell about their selection process, about the institution, what they're doing, how they're selecting what they want to invest in, and how to follow up in their invested companies, and how to spread the results to the public, to the stakeholders outside government, the industry, so to all the society. And basically share what they're doing, what their goals, what they want to invest in, follow up, and then share again. It's a matter of publicity in our review. So we try to focus and understanding how they could improve how they're viewed by their interested, their target population, so companies, universities, and even the civil society. We came up with a whole bunch of ideas, and basically we summarized them in 5 ideas, and to basically visited the universities and companies and attending events within and outside the main area of focus, and excite people, trying to make people interested in investing their time, their efforts, innovation, and partnership with the government, and so on. So in the end, we understood from the government that part of these actions, they are already within their action plan, what they do. So we kind of summarize them in a single figure, which represents the governmental institution inviting universities and companies to meet and the society as well, let everybody know what they want. Also use social media and other kinds of media to share their activities and to try to, how would you say that, acquire projects which could be invested in. This, so government, do you see yourselves in this solution here?
Interesting that some of the ideas they were already implementing. Right? You found out through this exercise why those didn't work. why they didn't work in the past. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Okay. Yeah. Mhm. Okay. Fair enough. And with the idea of proposed government, do you think that what is it that you like about it, and what what could be done to implement that as well?
I think they have good ideas, and we actually do an event that is called Inova Minas, and in this event we publish our research, so we can tell people what the institution do with their money, and it's a we already do that, and social media, we also publish our calls. I don't know how to say that. And one thing that we need to improve is to connect the government with university. We need to visit more the university and tell what we do, and yeah, I think that's this. We need to talk more with the universities and with the industry.
And I hope one thing that people are realizing as we're doing this exercise is that some of these ideas are already coming through, but maybe people on the other side are not being aware of them, and why, and doing synergies, because probably universities have their own channels, but we're not working together to maximize that impact. And how can government then use what you're already doing and not repeat everything over again, but work with university or other institutions to do that, and then thus reach the right people. I don't know if you want to add anything else, James. But good, I'm glad that that you guys like all the ideas, and like you say, it's hard to come up with all and understand why that not. So when we're tweaking this as we go along, maybe give a little bit more time to understand that why not in the next cities that we do this workshop as well. So shall we move on? Does anybody want to add anything else of the audience to hear, or should we move to the next group? Any final comments from you guys?
We draw John Travolta lots of times because one of the things we felt is that people need to be excited about innovation. And they said that was one of the best parts. So people are excited, and they are partying in the park, so they're excited, okay?
A good take-home message that I hope too is like not just the social media, but excitement. Yeah. So how to put excitement in there. Great. Let's move on to the second group, okay, shall we? Who wants to tell us about what you guys came up with, the journey map, the person, or things that you're addressing? Who volunteers?
I will try to explain in English. We interviewed our friend from BioZeus, a company that looked to the market. If I say something wrong, you correct. A company that looked to the market and searching in the academia answers to demands. So we tried to work on a procedure to make this partnership. The first step is to look at, to the market. Is his job to do that. So he prospects solutions, search for partnership and information. He received the information. So after that, he started to work on a work plan. Yes, already with academia, with the university. So this part, it was his contribution. So I will continue with our idea, our initial idea, and after explain his contribution. After the plan work plan, we establish a partnership, the agreement, the agreement, start to develop the project, make the protection of the intellectual results, make another agreement in the time about the intellectual property. After that, licenciamento, license, and after that, the share of economic benefits. So after his contribution, we think about a way to improve the moment when we discuss the partnership, the parte jurídica, the juridic. So with his contribution, we think in a chamber to discuss the terms. In this chamber, we will have a template of agreement to discuss in that, like Lambert. With a template, we in this chamber we will have all the stakeholders, researchers, the industry, everyone in the process. So after that, we will get into a nice terms. So this is what we think.
In industry, what do you guys think about the idea? People were being interviewed.
Actually, the most sensitive point there is establishing the rules of the game. And as you said during your presentation, we try to establish that as early as possible. So when we establish the terms of the partnership, or we try to anticipate what will be the shares of the IP and revenues and so on as early as possible. Of course, we cannot anticipate all the aspects of long-term collaboration in a single point in time, but basically that point is what is the one with most sensitive issues. And they suggested something that was very nice, which was an standardization of these agreements as templates of agreements, as you guys did with Lambert, because that with that we could have a more a faster process with less bureaucracy, and probably would save us, both parties, a lot of time.
And I'm glad you said that idea, because it's precisely when we're talking about the strategic alliances, is many times they do that and say, well, yeah, we're going to do a long-term agreement and all of this is based on that from the very beginning, and whatever results come out of that, we're doing that when you have this long-term vision partnerships, and then that minimizes all that bad feeling about negotiating every time and doing that. And yes, you might not get as much as you wanted, or in one case or the other, but then the relationship that you're building on trust is also very positive as well. Sorry, you want to say something?
I don't know if it's there's a need to clarify, but here we put the actors that this document has to pass for the legal part of the firm, the negotiators, the researchers of the firm, the university researchers, the TTO, the foundations that we're going to liberate the money and to intermediate, and the last one, the TTO we already said, the legal part of the university, I don't know, but many actors. And so this term takes a long time. That was the biggest problem. And to get in something that join every desire of that parts and join in a term. So this long time is not a thing that is good in all this process. So we think that in one moment join all these actors, and then in that moment approve this document. So bring this based on this template that with the university and the firm already have negotiated before. Bring the actors and discuss this is one moment, one place, and get it already approved in that moment. So we think that it will be a good solution to the problem.
Thank you so much. And again, it is a good idea when you have all this frame agreements. Might not be for every case because you might need to negotiate a very specific thing, but for the longer term ones, it's a really good idea. Should we go to the last group? Who wants to present the idea? Let's all move on towards this side. We have the academics on this side. Or is government? Government on this side. Who wants to present? Okay. In Portuguese, let me read you.
Então, a universidade, ela levantou vários problemas, né? E um dos problemas é a falta de recursos, a questão da incompatibilidade, algumas vezes, da legislação estadual com a federal. Esses foram problemas levantados, né? E a questão também da universidade não conseguir receber doações, né, para o desenvolvimento de pesquisa. Então, a gente focou no principal problema, que seria o das doações. Como que a gente poderia resolver isso? Que esse foi o problema mais levantado por eles, né? Que quando a pessoa tem recurso próprio ou tem uma doação, ela não pode investir direto na pesquisa, porque esse investimento ele vai para a conta da União, né? E muitas vezes fica difícil de direcioná-lo para aquele projeto, para aquela pesquisa. Aí a proposta que nós fizemos foi o de... nós colocamos, né, várias propostas, uma delas seria o convênio de pesquisa, mas a pessoa que está doando não achou viável devido ao... Como que eu posso dizer? Não teria abatimento no imposto de renda, né, no caso de doação, né, ela tem um abatimento. E nesse caso, se assinasse um convênio de pesquisa, não teria esse abatimento. A outra opção foi o aluguel de permissão de uso, que a lei agora permite da pessoa alugar um espaço, laboratório dentro da universidade, né, para poder fazer uso dele. Então, esse dinheiro entraria como no aluguel, né? Então, o investimento seria para o laboratório. Mas aí também não teria o abatimento, né? Então, o doador não achou interessante porque não teria o abatimento. Uma outra opção que demos é se uma universidade, por exemplo, tiver dotação orçamentária, ela puder receber esse dinheiro. Por exemplo, a universidade não tem dotação orçamentária porque ela não contava com esse dinheiro. Mas a gente tem uma outra universidade que teria essa dotação orçamentária. Esse dinheiro entraria, por exemplo, a UFRJ, entraria pela UFRJ e seria repassado para a universidade. Aí, esse caso, foi a pessoa que estava doando gostou, né? Achou interessante. E o outro, a premiação de projeto, né? Estabelecer um concurso, alguma competição e que o prêmio, né, seria essa doação. E também essa é uma forma interessante, que foi interessante. Então, isso aqui seriam as opções para resolver a questão da doação. No caso de recursos, essa parte a gente não discute, a gente falou de decretos, né? A gente vai achar para mexer, alterar a legislação, para ajudar a favorecer. Aqui foi proposto também, na questão de recursos, o balcão de negócios, que era a gente, o governo ia passar, né? Como que o governo passaria esse recurso através desse balcão de negócios, né? Teria exposição de vários projetos de empresas, não é isso? O balcão de negócios quem propôs foi a Cristina. Cristina, me salva aqui. Era rodada mesmo. E era isso. Acho que basicamente é isso, né? Tem mais alguma coisa que queira colocar? Foi isso que a gente discutiu, né? Então seria isso mesmo.
Well, I like that you came up with so many nice ideas. It's very interesting. Came with a wide array of solutions. So just to get it clear, did I understand correctly then that the way that you got the money, to accept the money was the charity? Then is that the selected solution?
In these times of economical trouble, the researchers are looking for money from everywhere. If the money from government or from a company we have or not, this is another subject. But in Brazil, we don't have a very well-defined law concerning how can someone can donate your money for research, for example. And we are very interested in how UK do that and how United States do that, because in Brazil it's almost impossible to acquire money for research in universities now. Yeah, from a private donor.
Yeah, like just to give you the case, for instance, of Oxford, they have the U.S. is great at this. They do campaigns for money for everything. Yeah, they do a lot of donations and sorts. Oxford, a few years ago, also started doing donation campaigns, but normally those go for, like a new building or something. People love seeing their names somewhere. But just to give you an example, part of that fund, which is the thinking campaign, what is it called? Do you remember? It's like Oxford. Forget the name of that campaign, but like people donating for anything they want to do. But they've also added a component where you could donate money, not just for the regular things, like a building or a library or something. They said you could donate this for a seed fund, yeah? So yes, and they get tax breaks. So the government gives them tax breaks as well for donating the money. So your money goes a lot further when you're using it as a donation than if you just, do it somewhere else if you want the money to be. because of the tax breaks, you can donate more, or it doesn't cost you as much than paying the taxes. And obviously, you still have to pay some, but it's less. I don't know if that's clear. And anyway, so they're doing that, and part of that funds is you can choose to select. It goes to the Oxford Seed Fund. So as part of donations, then it can also go directly to fund science and innovation projects for Oxford's CTO. And we work with foundations as well in other countries, where foundations can also separately set up, and it's a great way of saying, because many foundations they can sponsor children and poverty, which obviously are really good causes, but if you also create things like seed funds, the nice thing about that is evergreen funds. You can set it up to keep going. So your money, if one of the companies works, it puts money back into the fund, and that investment that you did as a donation can impact a lot more people potentially than if you just give it one time and you spend it and that's gone. Then you're potentially, it's a nice way to sell it to people in foundations, saying your donation is going to keep going ideally, and help many societies over time, because if it works, then it'll be reinvested and keep working with them. So yes, it's a good idea, and one that definitely should be explored within the Brazilian context. It's an untapped potential. So I'm glad that you discussed to keep thinking about ways how you can tap into the donations and charities and others that are not currently being exploited in Brazil, because it's a good way of funding also science and technology projects. Anybody? What did the government think? Yeah, did they like it here? Yeah. Anything else to add? Good. I'm conscious of the time. I wanted to have an extra little discussion session, but I think I'm worried that it's already quite late for you guys. And what we really want is for you to fill out these surveys. And that'll be really useful for us also to make suggestions for further training, for further things that might come to play later. So all your feedback, please be really honest. This will help us improve this type of sessions as well. So any feedback is very good for us, constructive. So we'll pass out some surveys. We really appreciate if you can fill them out. That'll be really useful for us. And if anybody wants anything to add, you can stay with us a bit longer. We're very happy to keep on discussing. These topics we love, so we can keep talking forever, but I know everybody has to go home. So those who want to stay a bit longer can stay. We can keep discussing. We're very happy to do that. Those that, but before that, I would appreciate if you fill out the surveys. So why don't we pass out the surveys? And those who want to keep talking with us, by all means, we'll stay here, and those that need to go can go, okay? Fair enough? Thank you. I hope it was useful, yeah? It's very interesting to learn the point of view from the other person, I hope, yeah?
Pessoal, eu gostaria de agradecer, finalizar então aqui nosso dia, muito produtivo. I would like to thank you guys. I'm sorry. They are so focused. Would like to thank you for coming, sharing our experience, their experience with us. E eu gostaria de agradecer também, tá, a todos vocês que vieram de outras cidades. A Angélica, né, Angélica? A gente já está pensando nesse evento há uns 6 meses. Bastante tempo. Tá? E a gente deseja também muito sucesso nas próximas paradas, né, em Recife e em São Paulo. Tá? Muito obrigada e obrigado mesmo por vocês participarem, né, e a gente conseguir aprender aí em conjunto. Abração e bom retorno para quem vai fazer viagem agora.
It's up, or?
Well, not necessarily that. The what's to take to receive it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, Antoinette, can we ask Anna?